Daniel Horowitz is the host of Conservative Review with Daniel Horowitz and a senior editor for Blaze News. He writes on the most decisive battleground issues of our times, including the theft of American sovereignty through illegal immigration, American liberty through tyranny, and American law and order through criminal justice reform. In his recent article, "It's Time to Treat the Muslim Brotherhood Like the KKK," on Tuesday, November 7, 2023 in Blaze Media, he states, "Do you want to know why there is so much spontaneous support for Hamas in our streets and colleges? Do you want to know why our government makes combating Islamophobia a priority instead of anti-Semitism, which has become ubiquitous among Western Muslims following the massacres of 1,400 Jews? Look no farther than the Muslim Brotherhood's subversion on our soil. Hamas as a military threat is Israel's battle in Gaza, and our government should stay out of Israel's way. As a culturally and politically subversive threat, however, Hamas lives in every major US city, our legal system, and all over our government. And it is funding terror operations from our soil. Hamas is represented through the Muslim Brotherhood, along with a host of civil rights organizations that fund and promote the Brotherhood on our shores. As we watch its influence spread in the United States, both in the streets and through the policies of the Biden administration, the time has come for Congress to designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. The Muslim Brotherhood stands at the nexus of Sharia subversion and jihad around the globe, and its affiliates are particularly subversive in this country. Terror groups including Al-Shabaab, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hezbollah could not command such popular support without the grassroots efforts of the Muslim Brotherhood that radicalize Muslims throughout the world. Richard Clarke, who served as the National Coordinator for Security and Counterterrorism for Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, testified in 2003 that the common link here is the extremist Muslim Brotherhood. All of these organizations, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Al-Qaeda, are descendants of the membership and ideology of the Muslim Brothers. ISIS and Al-Qaeda don't have a permanent political presence in our country, but the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates, such as the Council on American-Islamic Relations, have the full attention of the Biden administration. Whereas the Muslim Brotherhood operatives in Gaza, Egypt, Syria, and Turkey are the ones dancing around in ski masks with AK-47s or butchering Jews in Israel, North American operatives, such as those associated with CARE, wear suits to give themselves a veneer of legitimacy. But they are part of the terror network just the same. Many of the problems we are having with homegrown terrorism are from immigrant families who arrived in America in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Let's not forget that Musa Abu Marzouk, the number 3 terrorist in Hamas leadership, was deported to Jordan in 1997 but was living in Texas. One can only imagine the massive ticking time bomb we have built from the enormous increase in immigration from the Middle East over the past decade. With more than 100,000 people arriving from that part of the world per year, there is no way to assimilate them all, given the anti-American values and political views of the overwhelming majority of most of those countries. Even those who are potentially absorbable into our society are being reared in communities monopolized by Muslim Brotherhood propaganda. The Council on American-Islamic Relations is the preeminent organization representing Muslims in America. CARE's ties to the Muslim Brotherhood were exposed during the 2008 Holy Land Foundation trial. It was founded in 1994 by 3 leaders of the Islamic Association of Palestine, Omar Ahmad, Nihad Awad, and Rafiq Jaber. The IAP was one of the Muslim Brotherhood organizations mentioned in the infamous 1991 document, which was not supposed to fall in the hands of the infidel but was discovered in an FBI raid, explaining the goals of the Brotherhood. In 2009, U.S. Federal District Court Judge Jorge Salas denied efforts by CARE and other Muslim Brotherhood affiliates to have their names expunged from the Holy Land Foundation's trial record. Salas noted that the government has produced ample evidence to establish the associations of CARE, and with HLF, the Islamic Association for Palestine, IAP, and with Hamas. The judge also cited the 1991 Muslim Brotherhood document, explaining the organization's goals in America as follows. The explanatory memorandum includes a section titled, "Understanding the Role of the Muslim Brother in North America," which states that the work of the Ikhwan in the United States is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within, and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers, so that it is eliminated, and God's religion is made victorious over all other religions. One of the 7 defendants in the trial was Mufid Abdul Qadir, a Kuwaiti immigrant who also happened to be the half-brother of Hamas leader Khalid Mishal. Another defendant was Mishal's cousin, Akram Mishal. Both men remain fugitives to this day. One of the organizations cited as one of our organizations in the Muslim Brotherhood document is the Muslim Student Association, which was founded in 1963 at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. If you ever wondered why college campuses seem to be such hotbeds of support for Hamas, the MSA is the reason. A 2007 New York Police Department report described the MSA as a place where extremists have used these university-based organizations as forums for the development and recruitment of like-minded individuals, providing a receptive platform for younger American-born imams to present a radical message in a way that resonates with the students. The NYPD report also noted that many MSA chapters had been permeated by Salafi-based radicalization. The MSA has an exhaustive list of prominent jihadist alumni. Ramzi Youssef, who is serving life in prison for being one of the ringleaders of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, was a co-founder of the Rutgers chapter of the MSA. Perhaps the most famous alumnus was Anwar al-Awlaki, who was president of the Colorado State MSA during the 1990s. 2 weeks after 9/11, according to FBI documents released in 2013, our government knew that al-Awlaki bought airline tickets for Muhammad Atta and 2 of the other hijackers. The flights were in the summer of 2001 and are thought to have been dry runs for the terror attacks. Yet as Fox News reported in 2010, al-Awlaki was hosted by the military at the Pentagon several months after his disciples flew planes into it for the purpose of outreach to the Muslim community. Documents secured by Judicial Watch further confirmed that al-Awlaki was in the crosshairs of law enforcement several other times between 2002 and 2007, but was mysteriously released each time. He is suspected of directing the underwear bomber on Christmas 2009 and was in contact with Nidal Hassan, who murdered 13 people at Fort Hood a month before that. He was killed in a drone strike in Yemen in 2011. The Muslim Brotherhood has never wavered in its goals. The organization and its offshoots continue to influence, inspire, and educate millions of Middle Eastern immigrants in the United States. When the Ku Klux Klan formed after the U.S. Civil War to terrorize and murder black citizens who dared to exercise their hard-won rights, Congress responded with a series of enforcement acts aimed at protecting black people and empowering the army to arrest and break up bands of disguised night marauders. The federal government was highly effective at combating Klan terrorism. Rather than treat the Muslim Brotherhood likewise, the government has indulged the organization's leaders as legitimate partners with America's Muslim communities. It's suicidal. It is clear that only way to stem the tide of Islamic subversion and empower those Muslims who truly want to assimilate as Americans is to pause the existing flow of immigrants from the Middle East and categorically ban the Muslim Brotherhood and other jihadist front groups from our shores. You have the right to chant the queer from the river to the sea mantra, but you don't have a right to fund and foster terror on American soil.